But what's fun about going back to high school, it brings into perspective what really was important to us when you know, life was in front of us, anything was possible. What did we want to be? What did we dream about? Well, very few people achieve that. When you enter this age, the menopausal era, you start to reevaluate. That's the show, our second act. We do have a second chance at being the person that we always wanted to be. How fun was that to get back together after all these years and talk? And what comes up? The same thing as it did in high school. The conversation's dominated by boys and sex. Right. When we were laughing so hard, it's like, gosh, if there were only cameras rolling right now, absolutely, this would be a hit show. What woman can't identify with this? One of the funniest conversations, you know, we had is the low libido and dryness and the Sahara Desert. It's funny because just after a few months, you know, of being in the show and doing research, I can now openly talk about lubrication and masturbation and finding my and, you know, rediscovering sensuality.
We have to get rid of the taboo that's been associated with so many of these topics that we're going to talk about on the shows.
Exactly, exactly. Once we're actually going to say vagina.
We can say the word.
We can say it.
And things you wouldn't talk with your partner or your husband, that it'd be like, I can't talk about that. And so subsequently you just stop doing things, and it's over.
It's over. One of the purposes of the show is to make people aware that not only are we not unique, but we are a statistic of what is called gray divorce.
Right. Another thing that I think is important is, like, we're not advocating divorce here, and I want that to be come across.
We didn't cause gray divorce. We're acknowledging that it exists. If you don't want to leave, let's talk about how to save your marriage. And 90% of that has to do with what happens in your relationship and in the bedroom. Hormones. Hormones are huge. People are not educated on the importance of balanced hormones and how to best achieve that.
Well, it's been interesting with our group of friends how we've all gone through it. The stories are hilarious. I mean, menopause is a very funny thing,
yes,
although traumatic, you know, but there's lots of options that women have to get through it.
How do you find love again at this point, and everything that's involved with it? How do you get ready for a date? What is it, you know, how do you engage a new man with an old body? You know, and whatever happened to the hair down there? It's
at our age to go in and have a wax, is that like inappropriate? Or are they being grossed out because these 50-year-old women are walking in saying, "Can you help me down there?"
You do realize that life is finite. So it's doing what we want after 50, finding meaning in what we're doing.
What can you do to plant a seed for future generations coming up? This show, I think, is one of them.
What our group of friends has experienced here, we want to take that across the country. Let's have conversations, be part of the show, grow the conversation.
There's so much out there to talk about.
Yeah, we want to become the voice of the baby boomer women. So here's to a great...
Our second act.
Our second act.
Yes, life always walks that